G'day friends, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Steve, the cats and I had the most relaxing 3 days of our entire lives, and it's been a real struggle to get back into the swing of things. But I'm on YouTube today because I wanted to talk about a competition that I'm running to win one of these sketch planners that I'm flipping through right now. Now this was a Kickstarter campaign for these sketch planners, and a lovely Burke mate recommended this campaign to me months and months ago. I pledged and got ordered 2 of the plain craft cover notebooks, sketchbooks, sketch planners, and actually got sent 1 printed and 1 craft. Now, there was a bit of a problem with that Kickstarter campaign in the sense that production took a lot longer than they thought, there was delayed shipping, and then in the end there was an inventory problem, so some people didn't get exactly what they ordered, but it is the nature of Kickstarter, so I couldn't hold it against them. I know what manufacturing can be like and how tricky it is to figure out those kind of problems, so I was very gracious, and I'm completely fine with what they sent. In fact, I'm super excited. I can't wait to ship one of these out and then start using the other one myself. I'm going to let the winner decide which cover they like because I think that would be fair, and I'll just use the other. Now, this is the PDF that I have in the Burkemates Creative Outlet Facebook group. There's a link to that down below. You can find this download in there in the files section, and this is what we're going to be using for the competition. Now, it is a competition in the most loose sense you could think of it. Basically, Steve and I are just going to judge the judge is such a harsh word, but it's the right word. We're going to look for, the most creative uses of this PDF file, and we're going to pick one winner to win whatever version of the sketch planner that they would like, and then call it a day, and we'll ship that out. So the competition's open till January 5th. Now, you don't have to print this out if you don't have a printer. You could just sketch it. You could trace it from your computer screen. If you want to print it out, you can resize it, you can flip it, you can collage it, you can put it on something 3D. Like, I don't care. It is so open to interpretation, and I'm super excited just to see where your brain takes you and what kind of a creative spin you have on it. I've only used this the image of the 2 ladies inside the circle from my version just as an example. I just wanted to show you me playing with it, just so you got an idea for how much I didn't care if you used the whole thing or not. I don't want you to feel like there are any strict rules. The only rule really is that you have to upload it to the album before January 5th. So I'll let you go check out the Facebook group to see more of those details, and there's also a link in there to the Kickstarter campaign if you want to look at more of the specs on the sketch planners. But I'm super excited to try and use them. I don't typically plan anything. I think I've said this a bunch of times already, but I'm not a planner girl. I haven't really gotten into the world of planning. I have this little jotter at my desk that's a to-do list, and I have been using that a lot lately. I think the more busy I get, I have to start writing things down, otherwise I'll forget it. I think I have a good memory. Steve would probably beg to differ, but just for safety, I have to make sure I'm on top of things, because I don't want to have to do any conflict resolution. Customer resolve? What's it called? Something like that, but I just don't want to have to. I want to avoid it all just by doing what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it. So I think planning is a bit more essential than it used to be for me. So having this kind of a substantial planner that kind of functions as a sketchbook as well, I thought was just a super interesting idea. Obviously nothing groundbreaking, but it was just really nice to have it in this format. It's hardcover, which I love. It's a substantial size, so I don't need to, I would love to think I could plan in a traveler's notebook size, but it just seems too small for me. I scribble things out, I write all over the page. Like, I need a lot of space when I'm just jotting things down. So this is probably the perfect size for me, even though it might be a bit big for some people. But I'm going to leave it at the desk. We'll see what happens with it. What if in the end I might just end up putting sprocket prints in there and make it a scrapbook album? Who knows? I'm not going to set any rules for myself, which I think comes into how I feel about the New Year's anyway. Let's have a quick conversation about New Year's, shall we? I feel like I'm a little odd about New Year's, and I don't know if there's anyone else out there, but to me, it just feels like another day. Unfortunately, I don't wake up on January 1st any thinner or any nicer. Like, it just doesn't change anything. I just get so upset. I mean, I struggle for about a month to write 2018 on documents. I'll write the year beforehand, and it just, I don't know, New Year's has never really been a big thing for me. I don't set resolutions because I don't like to commit to anything. I don't give myself like a theme or a word of the year. I admire people that do, and I watch that journey for them, and I feel really proud of them for doing it. But for me, I don't know, I've never really gotten into it. And I work pretty late a lot of the time, and sometimes I just stay up late anyway. Like I might not go to bed until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, but guaranteed New Year's Eve turns around and I am out like a light at 10 p.m. So I don't know, it's never really been a big thing for me. I don't know if that resonates with anybody else out there. Let me know. I'd love to not feel so alone in this, especially because I feel like I'm at the age where I'm supposed to be out partying and like just like getting turned on New Year's Eve, and I just don't. I don't know what my problem is with New Year's Eve. But anyway, enough about New Year's Eve. The reason that I've kind of done this sort of a competition, and I know it's not a super long competition period, unfortunately, because these didn't arrive to me super late. I couldn't, start the competition until I had them, and obviously I didn't want to make the competition run for too long because as it is, it's already going to be the new year. And if I didn't start it until January, I feel like, you'd get your sketchbook and you'd be like, well, I can't use January now, it's over. But maybe you could use it as a swatch page, I don't know. So I wanted to get it out there, and to be honest, you don't have to do much. I think I wanted to show you this example just to reiterate that like you can do whatever you want. If you want to do something really quick, I've taken the idea of the washi tape cityscape that we did earlier in the year, like earlier, and I've taken the washi tape and given them bandage dresses, just colored them in with some Copic marker, and just called it a day. I did try to add a pop-up element because I was being super extra ultra, and it was so unnecessary in the end, but I kind of like it, so and I didn't even bother to do it properly. Like I didn't look up any kind of pop-up techniques or revisit what I know about pop-ups. I made the most crude version of a pop-up and just stuck it in there. And I did it in the wrong order too. I should have done the background fully before I did it, but you know what I mean? Like I was just working in my planner, so in my journal, it didn't really matter. There's no rules in there. You can do whatever you want, right? If I was doing a proper piece that needed some longevity, I'd obviously try and figure it out, but for me, this was totally fine. This was actually the first version that I was trying. I completely abandoned this little polka dots idea, but I thought I'd leave it in there just to show you that I do abandon a lot, so most of the time I'll cut that footage out, but I don't know, today I just felt like showing you. I do give up on a lot of things. But yeah, I found another way that would make it work for me because this idea just wasn't doing it. I wasn't taken with it. I wasn't inspired. So I actually did move on to a different notebook so I could put some watercolor down and do it that way. And I much prefer how this version came out. So the way I wanted to do this kind of a competition, originally it was going to be a coloring competition because I thought that was super simple. But then I thought I don't want to restrict anyone that just doesn't like coloring in, that's maybe more of a collage artist or maybe more of a digital artist. I just wanted everyone to be able to do it just if they wanted to do it. So I left it pretty open, because I hate rules. So but colouring in for me, this Christmas season, all throughout my childhood growing up and well into my teen years and some of my early 20s and probably still to now. Christmas, for me, I have the most fond memories of colouring in with my gran. Every Christmas I'd get like the same colouring in book. It was this one fairies colouring in book that I think I've completed cover to cover, no joke, 20 times. Like I've done it so many times, and we'd go to our family holiday destination every summer, and Gran and I would just colour in non-stop. And I'll tell you a fun story as well, but just don't tell the police. Gran and I actually entered a colouring in competition. I used to enter them all the time, and I was very lucky to receive Ice Age on DVD from my local Video Easy for being the winner of that colouring in competition. High point in my career. But we would enter colouring in competitions. I mean, I would, but Gran and I just thought, look, there's a Woolworths colouring in competition. Woolworths was our local supermarket, and we thought, I'm too old to enter it. Gran's obviously too old to enter it. So let's just use aliases. My Gran went under my cousin's name, and I went under my sister's name, and I actually won the competition, and my Gran came second, and she was so upset. I don't think she ever forgave me for it. It was so funny, but like, that just to me, like, oh, and don't worry, like, all the prizes I got, I gave to my sister anyway, because she pulled a little bit of a blackmail stunt on me and she told me if I didn't give her the prizes, she would tell Woolworths that I did it and she didn't. So I thought, well, good for you. Like, it was fine. I gave her the prizes. I didn't need them anyway. It was just for fun for my Gran and I to do. And I don't know, I feel bad for all the kids, but to be honest, like, I gave it to my sister. So a kid did win the prizes. Was that a story I probably shouldn't have shared? I don't know. But yeah, look, we would do that all the time, and my gran was just so key in nurturing everything about me that was creative. I've talked about my gran a lot, especially in my journal flips. I have a lot of her old coloring pages that I used to draw, and she would photocopy and color in, and I put them in my journal, so I have those memories with me forever. And when gran was around, I mean, there was nothing that I did that she didn't encourage me to do, and it was all so creative, and it was, I don't know how to ever say how much I truly appreciate the women in my family just supporting every part of my creativity, because it's so easy for people out there to look at a little boy with a fairy coloring in book and say, maybe go and do that in your room, or do you need to do that outside where everyone can see you? But they never cared. They would let me dress up in tutus and dance around the living room. I had point shoes. Like, don't ask me why I had point shoes, but I always wanted to be in the Lullaby League in the Wizard of Oz. So I just had three of the most incredible women raise me to believe that I could express myself in any way possible creatively, and that it was okay. And for me, there was just no greater gift other than the fact that they instilled their faith in us children as well. There was no greater gift to me than having that creativity nurtured, and I think it's so important to remember and honor that. And so because of that, this is the time of year where we would be colouring in, and I wanted to, just remember my gran and everything that she did and how instrumental she was, and just run a colouring competition, but also keep it open enough so that everyone wants to get involved. And I just don't care how you do it. I think that comes back into the fact that, like, one day I'd be literally colouring in for hours and hours on end, and the next day I'd be in gold roller skates singing Xanadu at full voice, rolling down the side street of my neighborhood. And like, no one in my family cared. Like, my gran, my auntie, my mom, like, they just, that was me, and there was nothing they were going to do to stop that. So I think that's, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting super serious here, and reflecting on family in the holiday season is just, it's obviously one of the things that we all do, and for me, I have such a great respect for all of that and for what that means, and I think that's why I feel so encouraged to share that with everybody, to nurture that in other people, and because I know how important it is. I know as a young kid, like, I wasn't unaware of what I was doing. I knew that fairy coloring in books were probably for girls. I knew that playing with Barbie dolls was for girls. I knew that gold roller skates and singing Xanadu wasn't really for boys, but I did it anyway. I had a Cabbage Patch Kid for most of my entire life that I would take everywhere. Her name was Miss Yuck. She was hilarious. But I wanted to, I think that's kind of what made me, I don't know, super into everything creative. I think if that wasn't nurtured in me, I'd struggle to think how I would express myself now in all of this, and what kind of level of shame I might have for it, because I know a lot of people, I know a lot of young boys might struggle with the fact that it's not something that they're supposed to do, and that there may come a level of shame with that. I don't know, I'm probably getting way too serious for you, but essentially the idea came from honouring my gran and all of the memories that I have with her colouring in. So I wanted to make a colouring in competition, but then leave it really, really open so that your creativity can come out, and Steve and I can appreciate all that you have to offer, because I love seeing everything that you guys do with the stamps, the washi, the collage sheets, the digi stamps. Like, it's always such a great source of inspiration for me, so I'm really excited to see what you do with this too. And the last bit of voiceover I think I have to add is I did this title, this quote, not even a quote, but I just wanted to write something on here in the negative space, and I wrote Women of the Night, which at first was just like, oh, that's really obvious, James, but I thought, no, I'll make it look really pretty, and I got halfway through it and I thought, oh, well, this could be taken one of two ways. and the way that I didn't want it to be taken may be the way that some people saw it as soon as I wrote it. So I did put a little addendum underneath and made sure that people knew I didn't mean that kind of a woman. This is not a pretty woman kind of a moment here. This is just literally some fantasy night women going out to celebrate New Year's in their bandage washi tape dresses. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the sample. I'm really, really excited to see what you do. Go and check out the Facebook group below. It's linked in the description. And subscribe, click like if you want. I'm happy to have you around for 2018. 2017's been wild. Still no schedule for videos in 2018. Still no commitments for me, so I'm enjoying that. But who knows? I know I've got some really big things in store for next year, and I actually just can't wait to get around to all of it and to share everything that I still have to share. It's kind of amazing to me that that I've got any ideas left, to be honest, because I feel like 2017 was big. So, oh, here's my little amendment. Yep, but not that kind. Anyway, I'm going to show you some close-ups. Let your creativity go nuts. Can't wait to see what you do. Be sure to put them in there by January 5th, because at noon on January 5th, Steve and I will make our decision and announce that, and then contact the winner to get the shipping address. We will ship internationally as well, so whoever wants to enter is open to enter, and we will just choose the piece with the creativity that speaks to us. Steve will probably choose, because I get too upset to choose. Alrighty, everyone. Have a fabulous rest of the 2017, and maybe I'll see you before the new year, but maybe I won't. So either way, let's just celebrate. Bye, everyone.